This video is part of a series of SSIS tutorial videos created by COZYROC. In this video, I will show you 3 different ways to specify the cells in an Excel file that you want to write data to. I'll use a SQL table to provide the source data. In this segment, I'll be showing how to write data to a specific worksheet in an Excel file. This is the most common way that you'll use the Excel destination component. So this is the data that we'll be using as the source data. It's here in a SQL Server table. It has 4 columns and 10 rows. Now we'll go look at the Excel file that we'll be writing into. And this is it. It's called Worksheet Demo. And it has 3 worksheets in it. And the worksheet that we want to write the data into is called Park County. And here we are in Visual Studio. And I'll start configuring the package by dragging the data flow task onto the control flow canvas. And then I double click on it. And I'll scroll down and find the OLEDB source and drag that onto the data flow canvas. And I double click to open the editor, and I have not set up the connection manager in advance, so I'll click on New and then find the one for the new tutorials database. And our data access mode will be table or view. And we'll find the table, which is called Excel Desk Demo Data. And we can preview the data in that table. And there you see the same data I just showed you in Management Studio. And we're done configuring the source. And now we'll drag the Excel destination component onto the canvas. And we'll connect the blue arrow from the source to the destination. And then we double click on the destination to open the editor. And again, we need to click on New to set up a new connection manager. And we'll browse to find the Excel file. And this one's called Worksheet Demo. The Excel version that it's chosen is correct. And we'll leave the checkbox checked for first row has column names. And now, name of Excel sheet. We just need to select Park County, and it always puts a $sign after it. And we can view the existing data, and you could see there's no data there. And now we need to click on Mappings here so that it maps the source columns to the destination columns. And we'll click OK, and we're done configuring the package. I'll save it. And then I'll go over here and right mouse click on the name of the package and select Execute Package. And it was successful. It wrote 10 rows. So I'll stop debugging. And now we'll go take a look at the Excel file. There's the 10 rows that got copied from the SQL table. Stay tuned to see the other 2 ways to specify the cells to write data to in an Excel file. In this segment, I'll be showing you how to use a named range in the Excel destination file. We'll be using this data again from a SQL Server table named Excel Desk Demo Data. This is what our Excel file looks like. So it has the same 4 column names that it had in the previous segment. And I'll show you the named range that I set up. So it's called Purchases, and if I click down here, it puts a border around just the column names. So the way that the Excel destination works when you use a named range is it writes just below the named range or below any data that might be below the named range. So I'll show you when I configure the package how that works. So I'm going to close the Excel file so we can write to it from our package. And we'll start out over here in Visual Studio by dragging the data flow task onto the control flow canvas. I double click on that to go to the data flow canvas, and I'll scroll down to find the OLEDB source and drag that onto the canvas. I double click to open the editor, and we do not have a connection manager yet, so I click on New, and we'll find the one for the new tutorials database. We choose the table that's called Excel Desk Demo Data. Preview the data, and you can see it's the same data I showed you over in Management Studio. And we're done configuring the source. Now we'll go get the Excel destination component, and we connect the arrow from the source to the destination and double click on the destination component. And we need to configure a connection manager for this. So we browse to find the file. We're already in the correct folder, and I just choose the named range demo file. And everything else is set correctly, so I click OK. And then under name of the Excel sheet, instead of choosing the name of the sheet, I choose the name of the named range, which is purchases. And if we click on View Existing, you can see that the only thing there is the column names. And now we'll click on Mappings so that the columns are mapped. And then we click OK. And I'll save the package and we'll execute it. I right mouse click on the name of the package and click on Execute Package. And it successfully copied 10 rows. I'll stop debugging and we'll go take a look at the file. And when we open it, we see that it wrote the 10 rows right under the named range that we had defined. So now I'll close the Excel file again, and we'll go execute the package again and see what happens. And again, it says it wrote 10 rows successfully. So we'll go take a look at that file. And it wrote 10 rows underneath the previous 10 rows that we copied over when we previously executed the package. So it'll just keep appending rows below what's already there. In this segment, I'll be showing how to specify a range that is not named in the Excel file. And we'll be using the same source data from the same table. So here's the file we'll be copying the data into, and you can see it has column names here, and then we want to copy the data down here. And I'll show you that there is no named range here. And I want to point out that the name of the sheet is demo, because we need that in our SQL statement that we set up to specify the range. So I'll close the file so we can write to it from the SSIS package. And we're in Visual Studio, and I'll drag the data flow task onto the control flow canvas and double click on it to go to the data flow canvas. And we'll scroll down and find the OLEDB source to read the data from the table. Double click on that. And we did not set up a connection manager in advance, so I'll click on New to do that now. And the database is New Tutorials, so I select that and click OK. And the data access mode is Table or View. And now we'll select the correct table, which is Excel Desk Demo Data. We can preview it to make sure we selected the correct table, and there's the same data that we looked at in Management Studio. And we'll click OK. We're done configuring the source. Now we'll go down and get the Excel destination component. And I'll connect the blue arrow from the source to the destination. We'll double click on the destination component, and we need to set up a new Excel connection manager. So I'll browse, and we're already in the correct folder, and we just want the range demo Excel file this time. We'll leave the Excel version alone, and we'll leave the checkbox checked for first row has column names. And now, instead of data access mode of table or view, we'll select SQL command. And I already have that in my clipboard. So we're going to say select star or everything from demo is the name of the worksheet. And then we put a $sign and then the beginning and the end of the range, A5 through D15 with a colon in between. That does include the row with the column headers. I'll click on View Existing Data, and you just see the column names there. And now we need to click on Mappings so that it does map the source columns to the destination columns. We'll click OK, and we're done configuring the package, so I save it, and I right mouse click to execute the package. And it did successfully copy over 10 rows, so we'll stop debugging. And we'll go take a look at the file. And there the data was placed exactly where we wanted it. And now I'm just going to try executing the package again with the same range specified and see if it writes below where it already wrote or if it writes over the data. And it says it copied 10 rows successfully, so I'll stop debugging and we'll go over and take a look at the file again. And it copied it below what we copied with the first run. So it just keeps expanding the number of rows the same way the named range does. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to follow us on social media, here's how you can do that.